I took hook, line, and sinker the false story of love called John 3:16. That's no message of love. That's a message of coercion. Twisting your arm behind your back is a message with the ultimate threats on the end of it. While it says, oh, if you believe, you'll get some cake. But if you don't, I'll burn you. Let me tell you something, every believer. Yeah, I'm mad because I care more about people than your God. It is just a book. It ain't real. The God of the Bible is the devil of the Bible. I don't say that to be mean. I say that because it's a fact. It ain't no such thing as a devil. I'm just using the terms that you're familiar with. I'm angry because I lived a lie for 15 years and I believed it with all my heart. I separated myself from my family, friends. I moved, relocated, disassociated myself from everyone or anyone who was not saved. I believed that I could not be unequally yoked together with non-believers. So I turned my back on good people or people who needed me. But it was for the cross's sake, right? It was for the cross's sake. Rather than fearing men, I feared the one who can cast both soul and body in some place called hell. I took hook, line, and sinker the false story of love called John 3:16. That's no message of love. That's a message of coercion. Twisting your arm behind your back is a message with the ultimate threats on the end of it. While it says, oh, if you believe, you'll get some cake. But if you don't, I'll burn you. Let me tell you something, every believer. Yeah, I'm mad because I care more about people than your God. It is just a book. It ain't real. The God of the Bible is the devil of the Bible. I don't say that to be mean. I say that because it's a fact. It ain't no such thing as a devil. I'm just using the terms that you're familiar with. It was the God of the Bible that drowned people. It was the God of the Bible that sent animals out of the woods to destroy children. It was the God of the Bible who chose to unalive all the firstborn in Egypt, even the slaves and even the firstborn of the cattle. It was the maniacal God of the Bible that did that. And then intimidating you and I so much to the degree that we would see the wickedness of the character Yahweh in the Bible and deny it and say, no, he wasn't wicked. No, it really is our fault. It's us. No, it's not. Do you know how many people are on the brink of suicide or have committed suicide because they battle within themselves, wondering why a loving God made them the way that he did, but yet because of how they were taught, God, you in your own word condemned me and you made me this way? Do you know how many people are miserable and terrified of the monster in the closet? They can't live their life because they fear that this wicked beast is going to destroy them because they won't find him while he's playing hide and seek. While there's no evidence that he even exists, or if it's a he, it, she, they, them. We don't know. But keep in mind, this proverbial God is the one that created you and I this way. And then the writers said in the book that he established the end from the beginning, that none of this is done outside of his will. So here's what I want to say. First of all, to all you beautiful people out there, ain't nothing wrong with you. You weren't born in no sin, shaped in no iniquity with some death sentence on you simply because you were born. If a programmer developed a piece of software that had a virus, we would think something was wrong with that developer if we saw them going crazy over the software and stomping it, jumping up and down like saying, what's wrong with you, software? What's wrong with you? You're going to burn for this. We would think that person was crazy. You see it now, right? You beautiful person who might be gay or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You live your life and you're a beautiful person. It is the Abrahamic religion that makes us mistreat people. You're great people. You're wonderful people. We just simply believe the book. And please forgive us. Forgive me, because I was the same. I was homophobic like many black men while having loved ones who were gay. How dare you? I will be damned and refuse to lift my hands up for any idea of any type of God that would make me in sin, whatever the hell that is, make me worthy of death and then tell me if I don't find him in the midst of all of these claimed fictitious ideas called gods, I'm going to burn for an eternity. But let me tell you something. If you were real, I ain't nobody's sheep. I ain't nobody's slave. And I'm not scared of you or your idea. So if in fact that God was real, burn me. Because I'd rather be with the people, the real ones. I'll stand with them. Burn me. You want to burn me because I love more than you? That's what I would say. Do it. Because I ain't nobody's punk. And you ain't going to threaten me. And don't let nobody threaten you.
Colonizers told us that we were to pray to the same God that they prayed to. Keep in mind, while they told us to pray to this God, they never really believed that this God was our God and that we could really be a Christian. Keep that in mind. But when you look at the so-called loving idea called God or Yahweh, you do not find love. Let's look at his plan. So he put in the midst of the garden a tree of knowledge of good and evil, which means that they didn't know good or evil before partaking of the fruit. You know this is so because the God of the Bible said that he put cherubims and all that crap to protect the tree of life, lest they should eat from that tree and live forever. Now that's important because that means, or we can infer that they were not going to live forever unless they took from that tree of life. Well, let's forget that right now. Let's look at your God's proposition. I was born in sin. I was shaped in iniquity. That means it was not my fault. And to try to say that it was Adam's fault or the fault of our fathers, then that makes your God a liar, because he said he would not visit the iniquities of the fathers upon the children anymore. So your God is not supposed to practice punishing you today for something that was done yesteryear. And what makes him more maniacal is that it wasn't even you that committed the offense. This was done allegedly in Adam, a total fictional character. So I must believe that I am nothing, more than nothing. I'm worthy of death simply because I was born. Well, Christians, if your God is the creator of everything, then who created me? Who created these circumstances? The Bible says it's your God's will that should stand or shall stand. Who shall be able to resist his will? Who? So it was his will to hide from you. It seems like this God is no different from the tooth fairy in that we don't see this God outside of our imagination. Like in real life, no God. Only inferences, speculation, guessing, but no God. Just a book that's full of lies, mysticism, magic, and portrays a bloodthirsty God that only forgives when blood is shed. A loving God where? The only reasons why you Christians say he's a loving God is because you say he tortured and killed his only son for me. Oh, he's such a loving God. Oh yeah? God of love, huh? What about Adam and Eve in the story? Any child who can read and comprehend will not get love out that story. Never heard it? Want to hear it? Here you go. This wise, all-powerful God came up with this brilliant plan. Now, the first time he screwed up, he had to kill everybody, flood the world, and start over again. I know, don't trip. He's still all-knowing. So he takes these humans, put them in this garden, then puts this tree of knowledge of good and evil there, and it says you eat from any other tree, but don't eat from the tree that's in the middle of the garden. If you do, you're going to die. In the day thereof that you eat, you're going to die. A maniacal God. You know, I as a father would not have set my children up to fail like that. Already positioned to kill them. But you ever consider the fact that they did not know the difference between good and evil? They didn't know. So they partake of this fruit that he says do not partake of. But they didn't know. And it was the serpent that told them the truth. Because in the day that they did eat, they did not die. And that's what the serpent said. The God of the Bible said you would die in that day. The serpent said, no, you won't. He knows if you eat, you're going to become like him, knowing good and evil. So in the story, that's exactly what happened. Now, who told the truth again? Cognitive dissonance sets in. Then the Christians start with they lying. No, it just means they were spiritually dead. He didn't mean that in that day. Sorry, that's what it says. Loving God, huh? Let's keep it going. There was some kids out playing, they saw another kid. Kid had a bald head. You know how kids do, right? So the loving God of the Bible decided, whoa, oh, you want to laugh at the bald head of a prophet? Sent beasts from the woods to rip them apart alive. Loving God, right? Let me keep going. Oh, we can see the love of this God exemplified in Exodus. Jesus loved the little children, all the little children of the world. But is this true? Because the God of the Bible had this habit of unaliving them through many different means, like drowning, eaten by beasts, disease. Oh yeah, Yahweh know how to get rid of folk. Let's keep going. The Bible says that your God hardened Pharaoh's heart that he might not let the people go. That he told Moses, he ain't gonna let him go because I hardened his heart. But watch this, I'm gonna get some glory out of him. So you think that it's just that your God controls Pharaoh like a puppet and then punishes him for doing what he controlled and commanded him to do. Oh, loving God. Oh, I ain't finished. He's so loving that if a woman is essayed or R-A-P and you know the rest, your old loving God made a way for her to marry her. You know who? Who did that to her? Loving God, right? Let's keep it going. He loves his children so much that do and does what he says, that he unalives their children. Yeah, that's right. The God of the Bible gets a kick out of unaliving his children's children, like Job.